Hey everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge and to the Sky High episode number 52 here on a windy Tuesday. And boys and girls, usually in the Sky High episodes during the quarantine, I am in my Jedi robe with sunglasses, but today called for a different set of outfits. And if you're a Seahawks fan, you know. And for those of you who don't, former Seattle Seahawks quarterback Tavaris Jackson died in a car accident on Sunday in Alabama. He was 36. That's just oh god. You know the more depressing part about this too. This is the second episode in a row I have to open up about an athlete dying. Now Colby Cave, of course, I didn't particularly know who he was. Tavaris Jackson, I did. Like I tell people all the time, I started following the Seattle Seahawks after Super Bowl 49. After they lost Super Bowl 49, I figured make them my team. And you learn their history. You learn, their long history of 9 years ago, which doesn't seem like a long time, but it is a long time, which is weird. That's what a decade does to you kids. But Tavaris Jackson was a quarterback back in the 2011 season and then continued to be a Seahawk from 2013 to 2015, where he, as a backup to Russell Wilson, lifted the Lombardi Trophy as a Super Bowl champion. And so he is an interesting figure because you see his career in Seattle, number-wise, was, let's be honest, mediocre. But I think what he's meant is, as a quarterback really, is the segue from kind of the dark age of the Seattle Seahawks, no offense, to Russell Wilson. And I mean dark age in terms of relative irrelevance within the NFL verse, but that's a bit cruel. That is a bit cruel to say on about somebody's career who just passed away. But that's kind of the reality that you have to embrace. The truth, where how people remember you. And the reality is, Tavaris Jackson wasn't the best quarterback, but he made an imprint in this city, and people really appreciate Russell Wilson because of Tavaris Jackson. And I think the coin flip too, that aspect, and also just being a good around guy, helped him endear himself to all of Seattle. There's a fucking mosquito. Dead. Oh, it's not dead yet. Well, you almost saw me kill a fucking mosquito live, so that's promising. That's a promising fucking way to continue this shit. I'm not gonna lie to you kids. I don't do all this shit in one take. Well, technically I do, but I will probably retry 10 or 15 times before I start rolling. So maybe I'll record like 15 seconds and I think, this is not good. You go on to the next one. This one's not good either. I'll go with the next one. But despite me being very condescending towards his career, nothing but respect for Tavaris Jackson. And thoughts with his family and the Seattle Seahawks organization, because I know when we didn't have a fucking single goddamn quarterback to drop on, Tavaris was there. Tavaris was leading the way, and I believe Tavaris Jackson was the quarterback where Beast Mode had that crazy ass fucking run against New Orleans in the playoffs. So yeah, gonna have to embrace that shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this quarantine sucks, doesn't it? I know, for most of you, this is the most unbearable shit, but there are people really being awfully affected by this. And we continue with athletes, because That's generally what I do here. I talk sports ball, despite the fact that sports ball is canceled and it has been postponed for damn near a month now. Over a month. But for good reason. Because this coronavirus shit is scary. It is, man. You could actually die from it, or complications with other pre-existing conditions. You know, like that could play a factor into it. And so Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves, his mother died of COVID-19 just a couple days ago. And Jesus Christ, dude, that is just some shit. She's relatively young too. What? Again, if you have pre-existing conditions or some sort of ailment, not a good sign for you. Not a good sign for you. If you're wheezing like an asshole, or that fucking penguin squeaky toy from Toy Story 2, yeah, probably not a good idea. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm looking at myself. Yeah, that's terrible. I don't particularly care for Karl Anthony Towns as a player, but you know, having someone affected in your family like that, you know, coronavirus and death from it, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. So thoughts are with their family too, man. Jesus Christ, there is a lot of just this is not the way I envision my return on the YouTubes right now. Yeah, I haven't made videos in a couple of days because I've been gaming. Not gonna lie, I've been going really hard on Final Fantasy VII. But I figured, you know what? Just realizing that it's a multi-entry game, meaning there's gonna be multiple parts to this already $60+ game. There's gonna be multiple parts of this shit. So yeah, I'm taking my time with it because the next part might be, God knows, like how many years from now. So in between, I'm playing NHL 20 and 2K19 because I'm not fucking buying 2K20 right now. That sounds like a terrible idea, but you know, when you're gaming, man, I mean, your natural tendency is to throw out some slurs, you know, racial slurs sometimes. I mean, but when nobody's around. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. When I'm home alone, nobody's around, I will curse up a goddamn storm and use every goddamn racial slur under the goddamn rainbow. All right? I will hit every goddamn border, every goddamn possible, you know, phonetic way to offend everybody while nobody's there. Except my puppies. Like, if my puppies understood English, they'd be horrified. But I do it in the privacy of my home, where nobody's around, and I understand that, you know, racial slurs are not socially acceptable nowadays. It's just generally not. And if you drop the N-word with the hard R on a live iRacing fucking platform, Kyle Larson, you're gonna get in trouble. That's right. NASCAR racer, who, again, I don't give a shit about NASCAR, all right? I gotta be honest about that, man. I don't. Hold on. This episode is just gonna be me rambling on about Tavaris Jackson not being a good quarterback and not appreciating his life amidst his death, and me trying to light this shit up. But listen, Kyle Larson is a fucking idiot. And people are defending him. It's like, what fucking planet do you live on where it's socially acceptable to A, use a racial slur, and B, do it in a work setting, and C, have the shit broadcasted to thousands of people, potentially tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands? Like, that shit isn't okay, man. Like, what the fuck? What kind of fucking brain dead assholes have to fucking come at you and say, "Oh, it's okay, man. Rappers can say the N-word with the hard R. Why can't NASCAR racers?" What? Ah, God. Oh my fucking God. listen, I'll tell you one thing right now. You and I, okay, if you look at your skin color right now, kids, all right, this is a very basic common sense lesson, okay? If you are not black, if you are not African American, or whatever fucking label you want to call that shit, okay? Like, if you're not black, you can't say the N-word. Okay? That's just simple. That's just simple. If you are not black, you cannot say the N-word with the hard R, especially in a public setting where you are being broadcasted to thousands of people. You can't say that shit. You just can't. Okay? People who are defending Kyle Larson at this point are fucking morons. I'm not even gonna go out there and call it racist because you're just fucking idiots at this point. Sure, call it racist, but Jesus Christ, you're fucking stupid. But it's right in the First Amendment. No, it's not, you fucking dipshit. No, it's not. Fuck. Sure, freedom of speech, sure. Yeah. But at the same time, there's something called social acceptability, and, you know, language within a culturally appropriate setting, like all that shit right now, man. Like, that's been around for like 30, 40 fucking years. This isn't new. Like, holy shit, man. People think they can get away with this shit now? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. What's also unbelievable is just my brain's degradation through this fucking quarantine. My body's just a tad bit grosser than it normally is. Smoking like a goddamn maniac. And the Carolina Panthers are dropping $64 million for 4 years on Christian McCaffrey. Not that I hate Christian McCaffrey. I think he's the best runner in football right now. He is a fucking beast, that man. But you're paying a running back $64 million in 4 years. Like, Jesus, dude. That is a lot of fucking money you're tying up. And you're bringing in a rookie head coach and a quarterback who, let's be honest, really hasn't played a full season of football in God knows how long. Man, good luck to Carolina. I mean, the competition over there just got real stiff, so it's going to be very curious to see how they turn up on that end. And what we're also going to see turn up is the Chicago Bulls finally realizing that, hey, keeping status quo for like 20 years is not a great idea. Yeah, GM Gar Forman. Gar Forman has been fired after 22 years serving as an executive. Holy shit. Organizations that get stale aren't like it's really something that comes down to comfortability within the status quo, and just laziness. And Jesus fucking Christ, I mean, the Chicago Bulls are really the demon kings of that shit. They really are. You've been resting on your laurels since Michael Jordan. You haven't been relevant since Derrick Rose. And yet you still try to cling on to what? Like a fame that was 9 years ago. It's always a decade ago with the Bulls. And I fear they're only going to get worse even after this whole quarantine episode is over. Right, you got NBA players playing horse on national television, which, no thanks. Just give me some real sports, or give me some replays, which I've been enjoying thoroughly. Replays of old championship games, old Western Conference games, Eastern Conference games, in the playoffs at least. I mean, those repeat games are fantastic. And yeah, man, just gotta find the positives in all this shit. You do. Otherwise, you're gonna drown in misery, man. You don't want to do that. Well, you do, to kind of understand yourself better, but you can't stay there forever, man. Otherwise, you're gonna turn all fucked up. So, kids, I take my gravelly ass voice in this fucking windy ass weather. Can't have me light this shit up, so I'm gonna go back inside. So follow me at the Sky Lounge on all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily content from me and my raspy ass throat. There we go. Now fuck off.